My name's Jackie Doherty. I'm from the East Coast, from Massachusetts, right outside of Boston. Very competitive where I'm from. Always playing sports. I had a lot of friends, mostly through sports. I lucked out with sports, came a lot of friends. Didn't have to work very hard to be good at things. I was very lucky. I had a really good childhood. I grew up with a single mother. I was the only child. Her parents, who were my grandparents, and her grandparents, who were my great-grandparents, we lived in a three-family house, so I got to live with a few different generations. Yeah, I had a real beautiful childhood. In middle school, I grew up without a dad, so I had my grandfather and my great-grandfather, but they were so old. I mean, not so old, but they were old, so they couldn't really do things with me that a younger, like a father figure would. So when I was in middle school, I had a teacher who was also my coach, who I ended up getting close to, and I needed a father figure, so I chose him, or he chose me. I'm not really sure how it worked, but it turned out that he was just a predator, and I think he chose me because I was I was the only child without a dad, so that turned into its own thing. I dealt with a lot of sexual, mental, and emotional abuse with him. I never told anybody. Eventually, way down the line, because I didn't say anything, it happened to 11 kids after me, and eventually one of them told their parents, and I was approached by detectives at my house one day to ask if I would testify, but I was using a lot of drugs, and the statute of limitations isn't that long. It's like 3 to 5 years, and it was 10 years later, so I was really no use to anybody. But yeah, it was a long time ago, but that's what those feelings and the stuff that came of that caused a lot of depression and post-traumatic stress, and that's what drugs actually saved my life. I would have committed suicide if I never found opiates. Opiates helped me self-medicate and deal with mostly that stuff and stuff from my childhood. Yeah, my drug use came from that. I didn't know, I didn't stand up for myself, so I believed I was a coward my whole life. I didn't know what it meant to be a man. If I was worth anything, felt like damaged goods. I believed when I walked into a room, you could see it written all over my face that I had been abused and that I wasn't worth anything and that I had nothing to offer. So, I mean, a lot of insecurity and self-consciousness came from that. Yeah, drugs made that go away. Opiates made me forget that anything had happened to me. They made me feel like everybody liked me. I didn't really care what you thought once I found opiates. I believed that I was the best thing that ever happened to anybody. I thought I had the power to change people's lives. I thought that I was God's gift to women.